Welcome to Monster Monday. So tonight I'm going to talk about my new Vestron copy of The Gate, starring Stephen Dorff. And this must mean that I'll have to do part two next week. But the transfer on this is very pretty. And I am collecting all the Vestrons right now. I think I only have like four left, and I'll have every one of them. And I'll be waiting for that Steel Dawn with Patrick Swayze, which should be coming in, I think, on the 16th or sometime this month. But yeah, so let's jump right into it. This is a PG-13 rated horror film, which of course a lot of horror fans are against. They don't like the PG-13 thing. But this one seems to be pretty beloved. And my memory of this, I have seen it, but man, it is very vague. So this almost felt like a first time watch. Like I knew it was gonna happen for the most part, but I didn't remember a whole lot. So I kind of remembered little beats, but outside of that, it felt pretty fresh to me. So that was kind of cool, getting to watch something that is kind of considered a classic by a lot of people, almost for the first time here. So we've got Stephen Dorff, who plays Glenn, and then he's got his friend Terry, his sister Alexandra, which he calls Al, and the dog Angus, and those really are main characters here. And the opening starts off with this good atmosphere. Glenn is alone, and he goes home, and he goes up into the treehouse, and the treehouse is struck by lightning, and there's this big storm, and the treehouse collapses, and he's inside of it. And it's really cool. But then, of course, it's a dream sequence. It's a fake out. You guys know I'm not a big fan of that. But it did start the tone off correctly. I just wish that it would have been real and actually built upon. But that being said, we do get it later on. So I don't know if that's just foreshadowing or, that's. It then does transition into him waking up and finding out that a tree has fallen down. And his tree has fallen down with his treehouse, and he goes and looks, and this hole has started to open up. So him and his friend go in there and dig into it, and this is when they find a geode, which his friend is like, "Oh, we're gonna be rich. We're gonna be, we're gonna be 100 heirs. we're gonna be able to make a ton of money off of finding a big one." And so they, of course, dig in this thing, and then they break this thing open like an egg. And I guess this is what releases something. I don't know. But what it really does is it releases this kind of smoke that it just so happens there's something to write on sitting right there. I don't know where it would have put it otherwise. Maybe on the table, maybe on the floor, maybe wherever the hell it was. But it puts the words that will summon it to into existence. So I thought that was pretty cool. But his sister Alexandra, who they kind of have a rocky relationship throughout, but it's pretty typical teenage stuff. So I kind of liked that. I didn't find her to be overly annoying or unrealistic. I wasn't like, oh come on, like, or I didn't think she was super bitchy. Like I thought she was a pretty good sister. She just was a teenage girl who started getting into boys and was kind of being influenced by her friends. But her friends are Lori and Linda. Sound familiar names there? So that's obviously an homage. The pit, or the gate, as the title suggests, kind of moves and breathes, almost like the Sarlacc pit before the special edition. That the way it kind of like pulsates and moves and shit. It's really interesting. And I will say the special effects in this movie are pretty fantastic. Like I don't feel like they get talked about enough here, but the stop motion and the composite and all that stuff is really good. Like really, really cool. And there's some really memorable things in this movie when it comes to the effects, and with the scenes as well. I thought this was a damn good watch. And it's short. It's only like an hour and 25, but it ends at like an hour and 19 or something. So it's a quick watch for sure, and well worth it. And I feel like you don't see a monster until almost like, we'll say 45 minutes into the movie. So it definitely, you know, waits, but I'm never bored. I really liked the dynamic between Glenn and Terry and Al, and all that stuff was compelling enough, and I liked the characters enough. So good characters. The acting is all good. I mean, for what it is, it's an 80s monster movie, but I like it. And as I said, the effects are fantastic. A lot of logical questions and stuff that you can't ask because, you know, it's a movie, but regardless, it's cool. So the mom and dad decide to leave for 3 days and leave a 15-year-old girl in charge of her, what, 10-year-old brother? Or 10, 12, somewhere in that area, which is a horrible idea. And they ask her not to party. And of course, that night she throws a big party. And who the hell invited the witch from the craft to this party? It was like light as a feather, stiff as a board, man. Lifting this kid up into the air, and he's levitating around. He even grabs onto one of the light fixtures and breaks that off the wall. And it's like, did everyone just see? I mean, they must have just thought they were drunk, or that it was, you know, as they keep saying, an illusion. But my God, I would freak the fuck out if I saw that. There's no way you could explain what happened. I mean, that kid wasn't just like floating, just like off, where it's like, am I seeing this right? Are you guys angling it in a way where it's manipulating? Oh, hell no. He's way away from their hands and literally floating. I mean, they put their hands down and he's floating around the room for like a moment. There's no fucking way. Those kids would be freaking out. And then the girl's just kind of like casually is like, well, I guess I shouldn't do that anymore. What? She should have been like, I can't believe that worked. That was crazy. Everybody should have been like that. But they're kids. I guess they're supposed to be, I don't know, non-believers and just kind of dismiss things really quickly because it's an inconvenience to them. I don't know. So Terry, while everyone's sleeping, sees his dead mom because the gate is able to manipulate you, not only, you know, visually with what you can see, but also they can get into your mind and read what it is that will affect you, right? It's not like it just does something random. It specifically targets Terry's weak point. It shows him his mother, right? It shows Glenn his parents when he wants them most. He runs out front and there they are. And that scene rules, man. I don't know. I don't know if it's a toss-up between, of course, the zombie dude who comes out of the wall and he falls onto the ground. I think this is probably the most famous scene of the film, where he falls onto the ground and he breaks into like 10 of those little demon minion things. But this kind of reminds me of Poltergeist, right? When the guy's pulling his face apart in front of the mirror. He goes and he shoves his hands into his dad's face, and his dad's face is just disintegrating and melting and oozing all over his hands, and then the dad's head falls off and hits the ground and just collapses. And it's gnarly, man, for PG-13. And not only, you know, you got that shit going on, and you could just tell if this is a product of its time, but it's a PG-13 family-friendly-esque horror film. And the word, I think, fag is used twice, and then retard is used once. It's just so funny. That's so my generation. We use those words all the time. All the time. And might I add, never towards a gay person in my own personal experience, or someone with a mental handicap. Never me, anyways. We always use them as, you know, negative slurs towards anyone we thought was lame. It's crazy to be explaining that kind of shit. Like, that's fucking bizarre to me. We live in weird times where people are like, overly sensitive about everything. And it's like, oh, hey, don't worry, guys. Like back in my day when we used those naughty words, so stupid, so stupid. People need to lighten up, for real. Anyway, let's see, dude. When Terry kind of snaps out of it and sees that it's Angus the dog, not his mom, he like screams and throws Angus. That's fucked up, man. The way Angus like hits the ground, like Angus dies, right? And it's like, well, Terry killed him. Like that dog is 97 years old, and he just throws his ass to the ground, and then the dog's just laying there dead. And there's a lot of dead dog in this movie. Like usually you don't see a lot of dead dog. Like the dog will die, and it'll be sad. But this guy, like, you see this dog dead a good amount of the time in this film. Like this dude's just like driving around the dog in town, and he's like trying to drop it off at a clinic, can't. Then he like brings it out of his car. He opens up the door, it like falls on the ground. They think Terry's sleeping in the bed, which is a really cool scene. He comes up behind them, and then they pull the covers back, and it's fucking Angus's dead body with his tongue hanging out and blood on the pillow. You get a lot of dead Angus, which of course is why I think the whole Angus is alive thing after this whole thing is over is really bizarre. Like, Angus wasn't dead? Like, I don't know how any of this works, right? Like, how the fuck is Angus back? I'd be real suspicious of Angus if he was alive. I'd be like, dude, you were dead. You were gone. We buried you in the backyard. I mean, somebody buried you unbeknownst to us, but we find out that you were buried in the backyard. So, which of course is how this thing finally kind of broke through, the sacrifice that was thrown in the hole after everything else. And of course the convenience that Terry just so happens to be really into like bizarre metal with these kinds of specific lyrics, and this band is only, and he's just listening to that band, and he realized that band's only ever released one album, and the album specifically tells them how to do what to do and all that, and he can play it backwards, and it's so convenient. But it's a movie. Movies are a lot of the times convenient. It is what it is. I like how after he kills his dog, I mean, that's how I saw it anyways, he throws his dog on the ground dead. He kind of forgives him really quick, and then he says, quote, "Want to come over later and mess around." Glenn to Terry, two 12-year-old boys. I know he doesn't understand that would not be that. That's a wholly different meaning. But it made me laugh out loud when he's like, "You want to come over later and mess around?" Jesus Christ. And whoa, what's up with the bangs in these movies? I know it's the 80s, but shit, these things are teased and crimped to high heaven. And let's see. Yeah. We already talked about all that stuff. And yeah, wow, geez, I talked about a lot of shit here. Wow, like so much in my notes right here. Okay, so when Terry falls down that hole, and then she takes like a long piece of wood and tries to like get him out of there, and then we find out he's like crawling and climbing for a while before he can get to that. Like, he's like another like 100 feet down, and she's like trying to like, "Hey, come on, grab the board." She couldn't even see that fucking guy. He's so far down. So that was really funny to me. I was just like, why does she have this board? I guess maybe she's putting it down into the darkness. She can't really see down there, so she's hoping he's like a foot away. I could explain it away, but he's so far down. He can see them, so I don't know. And he's all telling them like, "No, don't read that, and this isn't right," and because he's like the expert here. And when he comes up, he just kind of starts reading, I think, Genesis. Because he's like, God created the heavens and the earth. It's like the beginning of the Bible, right? And then he just kind of says, "Fuck it," and throws the Bible down the hole. And then that closes it up. And you're like, oh, this is it. And at first I was like, is that it? Whoa, that was really easy. But then it was like, oh no, that's just the beginning. I mean, this is really where the chaos starts after they think they've beat it. Um, and the sisters, the in the closet, um, I don't remember. She said their last name. She calls them the Blank Sisters, but I can't remember their. Where the hell did they get that much garlic? They each had full necklaces of garlic. Does this house really keep that much garlic in the? I mean, I know it's for a comedic gag, but I was sitting there like, but they get so much, because that shit would go bad, like pretty quick. Like you can't keep that stuff for. I mean, to use all of that garlic, it would take months and months to use up that much garlic, year or more. So no. But that dead guy in the wall kind of falls out and then comes to life and grabs his friend, disappears, and the wall closes up. That shit's terrifying. And also earlier when they grab onto the kid and think that it's Terry and it's actually the dead dog, and then the hands come out from under the bed. Now, what those hands were attached to, I guess the demon that's out in the hole that hasn't come out yet. Somehow he's able to come out from under the bed because those aren't the arms of the other little minions. So who the hell's arms are those? Why are those little demons so small when the arms that are coming out from under the bed are so large? I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. But when they're pulling Al under the bed, shit's scary, man. Like, this movie's scary. Like, for kids, fucking A, this is scary. And yeah, the zombie falling on the ground and breaking into the creatures is so cool. I mean, so cool. So, really, really, seriously, kudos to this visual effects guy for this stuff. And the Terry zombie in the closet that's like gnawing on his friend and biting on him. Cool stuff too. Then the sisters pulled into the wall, and then he has to start fighting this thing with his rockets. Of course, we got to bring the rockets in here. And then the floor all falls away into the living room, which is a good composite. And then this huge, huge beast, this release the Kraken, comes out and marks him, and he has an eye in his palm, which is really scary. And he fucking stabs the thing, which then brings the thing back up, and he goes and he gets his rocket, which of course doesn't work, so he has to go get his present for his sister, and there's like all this meaning behind all the rockets and what got him in trouble in the first place, because he kind of set the house on fire, and his sister and his kind of relationship that's falling apart, and the present for her, and then the one that they were building together, and then the one that she went and got at the mall to kind of make it up to him for running out on him when he was scared. And yeah, it's a really cool relationship, and a lot of calls are, the rockets are symbolic of their relationship. So I really like that. I really like that rockets are such a central part of everything in here, and they tie to so much about their relationship. But dude, this kid would be dead. Like, the way the monster grabs him so fast and yanks him and kind of spins him around the room, and then when he goes and he's like out the front door, and then the place blows up and it throws him literally flipping forward. If he hit both of those, he would have been severely injured or dead. But of course he's fine, and then the dog is alive. His sister and his friend are alive. This is where it's more family friendly. The dog's alive. How, I don't understand that one. But the house is still fucked, right? That's surprising to me. It's not like the Cat in the Hat movie where they have the mother of all messes, and then once the cat kind of comes back and he cleans up the house with that machine that he brings, like, the house is all completely put back together. In this one, the parents are coming home to a completely fucked house. I mean, completely fucked. The house is gone. This girl is gonna have no responsibilities at all anymore that they're ever gonna trust her with again. Like, what are they gonna tell them? Like, that's one of those things. Kind of like the jail thing I always talk about. Like, good luck explaining that these these murders were done by a ghost. Like in this film, good luck explaining to your parents what the hell happened to your house, especially since you're grounded for near burning the fucking thing down in the first place. And then people are going to be like, no, I heard them. They had a party that night and they were having friends come over here all the time. And then he set off a firework that went onto the sky and put on some freaking 4th of July fireworks, which I don't understand why there's so many fireworks. But whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, super fun movie. Great characters, cool acting, great special effects, really tense stuff. For a PG-13 movie, fucking A, man. This was great. This was great. I'll be looking forward to throwing in my VHS copy of Gate 2 next week and seeing how that holds up. I know that it's not going to be anywhere near as good as this one. But it'll be fun because it's done by the same director. So that's interesting. And I'll definitely be looking forward to seeing what he does with that. I really know nothing about that. Think I've seen it. It's called Trespassers or something, right? Gate 2 Trespassers. I think I've seen it, but I don't have any memory of it, so it'll be kind of like a first-time watch for me, even if I have seen it, because I have no memory of it if I have. But yeah, I'll look forward to that next week. But is this one of your faves? Do you have the Vestron copy? Do you like the transfer? There's audio commentary on here by the director, the writer, special effects designer. That's cool. That's cool. Wow. Those are the 3 people I'd want to hear from. The director, writer, and the special effects designer and supervisor. Damn. Wow, that's really cool. Special effects designer and supervisor. Special effects makeup artist, Craig. Oh, so these are a bunch of... Okay. So there's 2 different commentaries. Both feature the special effects designer, Randall William Cook. So that shows you how much... they know that the special effects is what this movie's known for, is that they put them in both the commentaries. Isolated score selection and audio interviews, and then featurettes. The Gate Unlocked, Minion Maker, From Hell It Came, The Workman Speaks, Made in Canada, From Hell, The Creatures and Demon, The Gatekeepers, Vintage Featurette, Making of the Gate. So damn, I mean, this has a lot of stuff on it. And these Vestrons are really getting cheap now. Like, the old ones are still $30. Like, I've been buying all of these, the back order ones, back catalog ones, not back order, back catalog ones, and they're all about $30. But the new ones, from Shivers and Sundown, The Wraith, Little Monster, Dementia 13, and the upcoming Steel Dawn are all like between $7.50. You can get Shivers and Little Monsters at Walmart right now for $7.50 a piece, which is fucking crazy. And then from there, it's like $10 to $12 a piece. I just got Sundown and the Wraith for like $12. I got Dementia 13 at Best Buy right now. I got it like 2 days ago for $11.99. That's the cheapest place to get it. And then I pre-ordered Steel Dawn on Amazon for like $12. So these Vestrons are so cheap now. So cheap. That's what inspired me to start collecting them, is the fact that they got so cheap that I'm like, all right, well, I can just buy the back catalog. There's only like, I think, 17 of them up until that point. 16. There was only 16 of them. Or wait, no. Yeah, 17, I was right. 17 up until that point that were like $30. And then from there on, they've all been, from $7 all the way up to like $12. So really cheap. And so I'll have them all here pretty soon and buy the other ones. But what Vestrons do you have? Do you have any of them? I have number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one is 8, so I don't have 7. I have 10, so I don't have 9. 11, 12, 13, 14. I don't have 15. I have 16. I don't have 17. And then I have the rest. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23 is coming soon. So, yeah. What is that? 4 of them? Yeah. And I think I have one of them coming right now. I have the Wishmaster, which is 7. Yeah. I have the Wishmaster collection coming right now. I ordered it, so I think I need 3 now. Cool. So, anyways, yeah, transfers are great. They have some fantastic titles. Blood Diner being my personal favorite of what they've released so far. It's a fucking favorite of mine, always will be. But really cool stuff. Chud 2, Return of the Living Dead 3. I love that stuff. So, anyways, guys, this was fun. I need to get to bed. It's 1:48 in the morning. But hope everyone's well and is having a great October. What have you guys been watching? Are you looking forward to Halloween Kills? Fuck, man, so much is coming out. We got the Chucky series tomorrow, technically now on Tuesday here. Man, what a fucking week. We have, or what a month, should I say, for horror. There's going to be so much exciting stuff. So, anyway, all right, I need you to stop talking. Adios.